All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the I Don't Know Shit About Boxing show, where we don't know shit about boxing. Pretty much, the late great Roger Mayweather famously said, "Most people don't know shit about boxing," and I believe it's the truth. As much as we want to say that we know this and that, and even the most hardcore fans can say that they know for sure XYZ is going to happen. This is the game of boxing and anything can happen. So at the end of the day, I want to take a little more of a humble approach and understand that as much as there is out there and knowledge, I don't know shit about it. So go ahead and subscribe, hit that like button. We got some news today. And it's crazy because yesterday I do this whole show about is the business of boxing ruining boxing, specifically because several fights have been called off, pre-negotiations, there's hiccups, whatnot. And I specifically talked about 3 fights that could be in jeopardy or just completely off in general. Now we have one that's all the way done, going to be fought this Saturday, and there's a chance that this fight is off. Of course, I'm talking about Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr. Let's go ahead and take a look at what was said. So here's the official statement right here. In just a second. And the fact that Conor Benn has tested positive, right? We have been made aware that a random anti-doping test for Conor Benn conducted by the Voluntary Anti-Doping Association returned an adverse analytical finding for a trace amounts of a fertility drug. The B sample has yet to be tested, meaning that no rule violation has been confirmed. Indeed, Mr. Benn has not been charged with any rule violation. He is not suspended and he remains free to fight. Mr. Benn has since passed a doping control test conducted by the UK Anti-Doping Agency. The Anti-Doping Authority, to which the British Board of Boxing Control has delegated its doping control testing for the bout, Mr. Benn has passed all doping control tests conducted by UKAD. Okay. Apparently, I don't know how to read, but that being said, I want to talk about specifically what he tested for. He tested for a drug. Let me double check and see what that drug was called. So I really don't look like I don't know shit about boxing on here. That was called clomiphene. Clomiphene. And, I'm no expert, but I've heard from people who I guess you can't necessarily call them experts, but personal trainers and whatnot talk about how they've seen, steroid use in their fields. And when it comes to this specific type of drug, this is a drug that's taken when you're cycling off to level out your hormones because the steroids you take signal your body like, oh, we have enough of, the testosterone, all of that, all the male hormones. We don't need to make those anymore. But if you take this other one, which is like a female fertility drug, it ramps it back up. It's kind of the similar situation where John Jones got caught with as his like first ever pop test. He got caught with something that was similar, and people were saying like, "Oh, it's because he's cycling off." And then he said, "Oh no, I bought gas station boner pills." So it's one of those things. It doesn't look good for Conor Benn. I don't want to say, "Oh yeah, he took this and he's taking steroids and this and that." I don't know. You know what I mean? This could be an instance where there was a tainted supplement. Maybe he went to the gas station like John Jones did, but it doesn't look good for him when you're specifically getting popped for something that people take to get off of a cycle and you're looking beefy when taking a fight where you had to jump up 10 pounds. It doesn't look good for him. It doesn't add up in his favor. But yeah, hold on. Let me share this picture. Let me share this photo really quickly. Look at this one. Yeah, doesn't look good for him. You know what I'm saying? But I can't speak for him. You know, if there's a chance that it could have been a tainted supplement, then who knows? Maybe it was a tainted supplement. But the other thing is, what was I going to say? The other thing is that I guess, you know, back with the B sample and whatnot. So it really begs the question, is this fight off? Is it off? I'm hearing that the fight is off. I'm hearing that it's not. Let me look up really quickly. So let's go ahead and pull up this from Sky Sports. British Boxing Board of Control says Conor Benn and Chris Eubank cannot go ahead with their fight after failed. So this is like the commission saying that no, it's prohibited and it's not in the interest of boxing. British Board of Controls has stated the fight between Conor Benn and Chris Eubank cannot go forward. Benn failed the drug test. What else do we got? We have been made aware that the random anti-doping test for Conor Benn conducted by the VADA returned an adverse finding, blah, blah, blah. And Mr. Den has not been charged with any rule violation. He is not suspended. He remains free to fight. Oh, that's literally what I just read a second ago. Chris Eubank Jr. posted it. Carl Frampton, boxing does itself no favors. There should be no gray areas. If you fail the test, you're banned. And in my opinion, you should be banned for life. That's a bit much, Carl, just because there are instances. We see it all the time in the UFC where people have tainted supplements. I mean, you saw Sean O'Malley was out for 2 years over a tainted supplement. That kid doesn't look like he takes anything. You know, there are guys like TJ Dillashaw, for example, who are taking things. Shane Mosley was taking, both of them took EPO. You know what I mean? So there are things like that. But this could be an instance of a tainted supplement. I don't want to say I doubt it, but it doesn't look good for his case. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and listen to what Mr. Eddie Hearn himself has to say. So we got this open right here on Twitter.
Heads up, this was going to be broken in the Daily Mail.
Yeah, I mean, this had a call from Riyadh this morning, and it's been going on behind the scenes. Obviously, we saw a Daily Mail article this morning. I think we've just seen the British Boxing Board of Control statement, which is, you know, pretty straightforward, and it's with the lawyers going backwards and forwards right now. Both guys signed up to a multitude of testing for this fight. The UKAD testing, which is obviously the testing agency that the British Boxing Board of Control use and are governed by, have all been clear and negative, and there was an adverse finding on BARDA test previously. So there's not been an official doping violation. There's a process that has to be gone through. Conor Benn is not suspended by the British Boxing Board of Control. Ultimately, he can't be because he's passed all the tests from UKAD. But clearly, the British Boxing Board of Control will take a position on it. We'll deal with the lawyers. Both camps have been made aware, of course, previously to the article coming out about the situation, and both camps prepared to progress with the fight. But ultimately, the conversations have to be had with the lawyers and the teams and the British Boxing Board of Control.
Yeah, so I mean, this is something that's pretty crazy. You know, he's saying that there are several tests that he did pass. This one, you know, he had in the test A, it popped, but not in the test B yet. We're still waiting on that. Apparently, if anybody's heard anything on that, you know, drop your comments. Let me know what you think. Do you think that he is guilty, essentially? There's one other thing that I want to bring up. One other interview with Eddie Hearn where he talks about this fight. You know, obviously, this in any other case besides, you know, the Oscar Valdez situation, we would see something like this and go, oh, this fight is off, right? Of course, it's off. Even the commission said, hey, we're not going to sanction this yet. They move forward with the media workouts. Like everybody's, it seems as if the show is still going on, as if it's going to happen, which is very strange. I mean, this is a big fight. I feel like, I know a lot of people didn't like this fight, but as much as it kept going on, I started really thinking, you know what? I do like this fight. So there's one other interview I want to play real quick from Eddie Hearn. And this one is from Michelle Joy Phelps. Shout out to Michelle Joy Phelps and Behind the Gloves, Let's listen to this.
We need communication, otherwise we would have to act accordingly.
So according to what you're saying, it seems to differ from what like BBC and Sky are reporting, which is the fight is completely off. Is that not the case?
No, at the moment, the board are choosing not to sanction the
But
fight.
the board has the final say?
Not necessarily. Courts can have the final say. Other commissions can come in and handle a fight. It's not something we want to do, Michelle, in all honesty. Like, I don't want to just... But we will do that if we don't get answers. We need communication.
Wow. So, you know, obviously what he's saying is that he's not hearing communication back from the British Boxing Board of Control. This is what I'm understanding at the moment, is that Conor Benn technically has not violated the rules because it hasn't come back with that B sample and been confirmed, right? But the British Boxing Board of Control went ahead and just said, hey, listen, this isn't in the best interest of boxing, even though he still is not suspended, not technically in violation. We're not going to allow this fight. Eddie Hearn and Matchroom are trying to reach out. Obviously, right, this fight's on Saturday, and there's some sort of non-communication going on. They're not hearing back. So Eddie Hearn is saying, listen, if we have to go other routes, we'll do it. We've seen this type of thing happen before in the UFC. What was it? New Year's of 2018. We saw John Jones fail a drug test just a couple days before they were supposed to have, he was supposed to have his Gustafsson rematch over in Las Vegas. Now, that weekend is a week where, you know, that week between Christmas and New Year's is kind of like people don't really work, people aren't doing things, so it was hard to get the gears turning to be able to overturn that. And the Nevada State Athletic Commission said, hey, we're not going to sanction this fight. We can't sanction this fight. But I guess because of USADA was saying, oh, well, you know, this was something that we don't believe that he took, this and that. You know, there's all sorts of different, you know, conspiracies with that whole situation. But they took it over to California. California said, hey, we'll sanction this fight. So on, what was it? I want to say 3 days notice, just a few days notice, the UFC took their whole fight from Nevada and moved it to California. How crazy is that? So I'm bringing this up to say, you know, a lot of the times there's boxing fans and whatnot, hardcores, they oh, why are you bringing up UFC? Why are you bringing up UFC? There's so many instances, especially in the drug testing realm with, you know, adverse findings and tainted supplements. There's very many case studies that you can pull from the UFC side of things. You know, whether you like UFC or not, this is another instance where Eddie Hearn's not going straight out and saying like, hey, we'll move this whole fight, but he's saying we can deal with other commissions. Does that mean that there's another commission that can sanction the fight at the O2? Or are they about to up and move this card to Spain or, you know, anywhere else? You know what I mean? Are they like, where can you move this fight where the BBFC doesn't have oversight on it? You know what I'm saying? But, and then he's also saying, oh, we're going to go through the courts and whatnot. How are you going to get this resolved legally in 3 days? Really 2 days, because this fight has to be official by Friday, right? These weigh-ins need to happen. We don't even know if Chris Eubank's going to make weight. If I'm Chris Eubank, he's been taking the piss the whole time on Instagram. He's over here at Salt Bays and all these other places. I would be like, damn, I still got to make 157, and I don't even know if this fight's going to happen. This is one of those instances. If I was Chris Eubank, I would be like, dude, I'm going to weigh in at like 163. You know what I mean? If I'm his team. Now, is that an ethical thing to do? No. But if Matchroom and all these guys work so hard to keep this fight together, and then Chris Eubank just goes, yeah, fuck you guys, I'm going to weigh in 163, 164. What are y'all going to do about it? You know what I mean? You're going to call the fight off after you did all this work? Nope. And then guess what? Okay, sure. You know what I mean? If the fight was called off, I probably wouldn't have got paid anyways. So I'll take the, 30%, 40%. I don't know the contract details. I could imagine that there was some sort of huge number as far as percentage-wise penalty if he didn't make 157. But if I'm Chris Eubank, would you rather take half the money, still fight, and have the advantage, or, not? So I don't know. What do you guys think? Drop your comments. Do you think that Conor Benn took this on purpose? He knowingly and willingly took a drug. I've heard people talk about, there's other shows that talk about, oh, well, let's play double advocate. Maybe he needed to take this because he's trying to have a baby, kind of the same thing as the John Jones boner pill. We're looking for a reason to say, oh, well, this could have been in his system because of, X or Y. But if we're playing devil's advocate doing that, at the end of the day, that would mean he still knowingly and willingly took this supplement, which was on the banned supplements list. It's like me being like, oh, hey, I needed to take TRT because, it still gave you an advantage. You know what I'm saying? Or I guess this one doesn't technically give you an advantage, but it is linked to a process in the steroids which give you an advantage, if you get what I'm saying. So let me know, comment below, do you think that Conor Benn willingly and knowingly took these drugs? Or do you think he's guilty? Do you think it was an accident, maybe a tainted supplement? Are you even excited about this fight? Do you think this fight is going to happen? Is it just going to get called off? Do you think this fight is going to get moved to a different location? Or the big question, which was like the first question for all of this lead up, and now has been moved to the last question. Do you think Chris Eubank Jr. is even going to make weight, considering he's at Salt Bay's restaurant and eating hamburgers and shit? He's eating like ice cream or something. Is he even going to make weight? Should he even make weight? You know what I mean? If you're over here, it's kind of like the whole Rahman Jr. situation with Jake Paul. Like, we have a question just came in from Corrado Jr., aka Star Dog. What's up, Star Dog? He says, what drugs was in his system? Steroids. So the drug that was in his system is a drug called clomiphene, and it is a like a fertility drug. It's supposed to normalize, like bring up like estrogen levels, something like that. Look, I'm no scientist, but from what I'm hearing from the insiders in the industry that know about these type of things and have been around people that take steroids, it is a very common drug to take post-cycle because the steroids throw off your natural hormones, and that this drug is introduced to bring them back down to baseline. So it's as if you never took the steroids, if that makes sense. So Star Dog, I hope that answers your question. Yeah, you know what I mean? Do we think that he took it on purpose? It doesn't look good for him, right? Because if this was just a normal fight at 147, we'd be like, damn, why is he taking steroids? Why is he taking steroids? But as we've seen, he's going up 10 pounds in order to fight Chris Eubank. If we're like, okay, did he take steroids? It's like, kind of makes sense, right? Again, I'll put this one up. Hold up. Where is this one right here? Look at this picture. It doesn't help his case. You know what I mean? If we're saying like, oh no, he didn't do it. AKA Star Dog, just sub, bro. Appreciate you. Hit that notification, hit the like button. All y'all listening right now, make sure you subscribe like my man Star Dog did. I appreciate you, bro. Yeah, so you know what I mean? Let's see what happens. Let's see. Conor Benn did test positive. Is this fight off? Is it going to be moved? Is Chris Eubank even going to make weight? Who knows? But guys, I'll catch y'all next time. That's it for today. Remember, look, at the end of the day, I don't know shit about boxing. Roger Mayweather said it best. Most people don't know shit about boxing in the grand scheme of things. Everything there is to know about boxing, even us hardcore fans, only know a small percentage. When you take that into consideration, do any of us know shit about boxing? Not really. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you like, subscribe, hit that on here, and then wait, real quick. Stardog looks like related results. Listen, I'm not going to be the one that says he did X, Y, or Z, innocent until proven guilty, but damn, it doesn't look good for him, right? Laters, bruv, to you too. Until next time, guys.